Hello, this is Patricia Lofton Hardaway, the proud president of Wilberforce University. Wilberforce University is one of the earliest universities in America for people of African descent. We were founded in 1856 before the Emancipation Proclamation, during the time of the Fugitive Slave Acts. And today, in 2013, we are still a force to be reckoned with in the higher education space.
So, in terms of the lofty history of Wilberforce, sort of how would you describe where the school is today in 2013?
In 2013, Wilberforce University remains a beacon and a haven for men and women of African descent in particular, but men and women of any background to come for academic and intellectual development. We offer a strong array of academic programs from the humanities, which includes music, English, lit, the social sciences, communication, as well in our humanities pieces, and then the social sciences, business, and engineering. A 125-acre campus about 20 minutes from Dayton, Ohio. We are in the midst of a suburban, rural, spacious area in Ohio.
So we know some of the good things about Wilberforce, but there are obviously challenges too that the school is facing. Talk to me about what that looks like, and really, as transparent as possible, so that we can kind of get a feel for what's happening with the school, and obviously what you see as some of the solutions.
Like every university in America, Wilberforce University experiences the same economic and financial challenges that all other universities face, much the same as many families face as well. However, we meet those challenges by ensuring efficiencies in our operation, by determining a priority for spending so that we are good stewards of all the resources that the public and our constituents are blessed to give us, so that what we have seen in the past several years are belt tightenings and reductions in some of our spending. But we've done that with an eye toward not reducing or laying off employees and not reducing the level of education for our students.
So how does that, though, at least challenge the experience for students? And I understand, there have been some issues with the library and lab hours, and issues with food service and safety. Can you just kind of speak to what's going on with that, and how how you plan to address these issues?
Well, I'm not sure the source of your information. Wilberforce University, in terms of our services to students, has continued to provide a level of service to students. As with any university, there are areas where students have an interest in seeing things change or improve. In September of 2011, the Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Development and I met with the SGA, and we heard what their issues were. And their issues were around extended library hours, extended lab hours, and they also talked about an interest in better quality of food. But most students aren't satisfied with the food at the campuses. I mean, I don't know where you went to school, but over the years I've worked in a number of universities, and students have not routinely been satisfied with what they thought was the food that was going on. But to turn it to the very serious issues that face campuses. Wilberforce University is a small university, and so we address and interact with our students on a level that is probably not seen at a lot of other universities, particularly the large universities and universities where the engagement between students and faculty and staff is not so close. So, so from that standpoint, students have the ability to come into the Vice President for Student Affairs to air their concerns or to share their ideas. You'd be surprised at how many students come in with great ideas and concepts and initiatives that they'd like to see, and you may also be surprised at how many of those are actually taken into account.
That's
and
great.
And handled. So, for example, within one of the things that students talked about was that they wanted more events, more activities, and we
like
had
what?
just brought in.
Like what, when they said activities, what were they referring to?
Well, they weren't very clear. They weren't very specific. and I take it seriously, but they said they wanted more. And so in the fall, we brought in a new director of student activities. We're calling it Campus Life. And the director, Ms. Harper, put out a calendar for the months of October and November. Our term starts in August and we end in November. And for October and November, we had an average of 80 events for each of those months. And most of those events are triggered through student clubs and organizations. They have an obligation, if they're going to be chartered, to sponsor activities that are scholarly, but also activities that are social, and activities that have a service component. So between those areas of expectation, we could see from the data that each month brought an array of events, from movie nights to dances to lectures to off-campus service events where the organization may have identified a social service agency or an initiative in the greater community, and they added their energy to those community events.
Well, let me ask you, in terms of shaping the atmosphere of the school, what is the relationship with the AME Church?
That's a very good question. Wilberforce University was founded through the auspices of the AME Church and the Methodist Church. Back in 1856, you may or may not know, the Methodist Church was one denomination, the AME Church was another. And so they came together and founded Wilberforce for the education of freed blacks and escaped slaves. So in 1863, the AME Church purchased the university so that it became the sole owner and overseer of the university. And today, we enjoy a very close relationship with the AME Church. And I'd like to add, while we're on that topic, that the AME Church provides 25% of its annual operating budget to education. And Wilberforce University receives consistently a significant allocation from the church, in addition to which, from the 3rd Episcopal District, which is Ohio, West Virginia, and Western Pennsylvania, we receive an additional $100,000 per year from the district. In addition to that, we receive in the neighborhood of an additional $50,000 in a given year from various congregations in the AME Church around the United States of America. So the AME Church has been a consistent and significant resource for Wilberforce University, both financially and also as an advocate and a source of students.
Well, with that in mind, talk to me about what is how much are alumni involved, and what would your call to action be to Wilberforce alumni at this point in the history and experience of Wilberforce?
Well, the Wilberforce University alumni are I think the most loyal and the best alumni in the nation, and I would go farther to say on the planet. Over the years, the alumni have been consistent contributors, and they have also been a consistent source of students. We have many students who are legacy, either parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents were students here. And so our relationship with alumni is a close one. In any given year, the largest single group of contributors is composed of the alumni.
And as it relates to giving back and sort of being involved, how would you describe your relationship with the Tom Joyner Foundation, and why is it important to you?
Well, we understand clearly that the Tom Joyner Foundation and the team at the foundation and on the radio, they are, all of you are clearly and genuinely committed to the importance of education. And we understand that over the years, the Tom Joyner Foundation has been a vocal and aggressive advocate for higher education, particularly among people of African descent here in America. And so we are proud to be selected as a School of the Month. And actually, I think this is our second time at least as being designated the School of the Month.
Well, that's pretty good. So if someone is listening, a student or a parent, and they're considering Wilberforce, what's going to be happening with Wilberforce in 2013 and beyond that would, have a prospective student come there, in terms of majors or anything that you think is significant to highlight?
Well, I'm very glad you asked that question, because Wilberforce University, unlike most small liberal arts schools, understands that it's important to marry the liberal arts approach with a clear preparation for the marketplace after graduation. And we are a singular university in that we have a very strong and long-standing cooperative education program that is intertwined with the academic offerings. So what that means is that a student who graduates from Wilberforce University will already have had 2 significant cooperative education experiences where they will learn to how their chosen profession works in the real world, and they will be able to test out their classroom learning in the real world. They'll be able to come back to the classroom and apply what they've learned in the real world to the classroom theory, and then they'll go out and do a second cooperative education experience. And for us, co-op is a requirement. It's
so
not,
just for those who don't know, is that you pairing them with businesses to sort of do internships, or how does that work?
That's exactly right. Wilberforce University has somewhere between 50 and 60 corporate cooperative education employer partners. And so our students go out to work as an intern, and they come back to the campus and continue their studies, and they have to do 2 as a requirement for graduation. So in other universities, you can do an internship if you want to, but you don't really have to. But our internships are definitely connected to the graduation requirement, and we depend on the corporate employer partners to provide the university with feedback so that we can understand how we need to adjust our curriculum to meet the demands of the marketplace.
I see how that's beneficial, so that some things are just academic, but like you said, real world experience changes everything. What you thought worked doesn't always work. So getting that kind of feedback sounds like it could be really beneficial to everybody.
That's exactly right, and it helps the university to assure that we're continuing to be relevant and continuing to be a source of valued talent in the marketplace. So our programs, we have 17 major programs, and they range from the humanities, which is English, Lit, music, communication, to the sciences and engineering. We have a nuclear engineering major. We are developing that will be launched in August of 2013. We currently have a very strong electrical engineering major that graduates in any given year. The largest percentage of African American electrical engineers in the state of Ohio.
That's interesting.
So in any given year, we are graduating 80 to 90% of the African American electrical engineers, and that if you add all of the other universities in the state of Ohio, they do not graduate as many as we do. And we think that that is a clear indication of our value to the marketplace. And we could probably extrapolate the same statistics to some of our other majors as well. But we know that the engineering is one of those. But we also have a business major, which includes marketing and accounting and general business. We have psychology and social work, sociology, rehabilitation, which comprise the social sciences. And we have a biology major that prepares, most of our students in biology are looking for medical school after that, but we're beginning to expose students to research opportunities in the sciences as well. And some of our co-op partners are involved in research, and they have added some of our students to their companies as well.
Well, I think that sounds like a rich opportunity and experience and real life experience for students. And I just want to say on behalf of the Tom Joyner Foundation, congratulations on being our School of the Month.